What's going on, world? It's me, Andre, Cat here from West Palm Beach, Florida. So in this video, I want to show you guys exactly how I mark up key levels, important key levels that I trade off of or to target. Okay, these key levels are like magnets. I'm telling you guys, like, if you do this, if you do it how I'm doing it, you'll see that price likes to come back to these levels. Okay, and you can take trades off these levels. You can even use these levels to target, to take profit at. Like, you can literally use what I'm about to show you guys to really get in some good entries and to also know where to take profit at. Okay, so I hope you guys are going to get value from this. But before I dive deeper into this, if you guys want to be able to copy my trades automatically over to your account, hands free, I'm allowing you guys to do that for free. All right, normally I charge $500 fee to copy my trades, but if you guys want to copy my trades for a limited time only, I'm allowing you guys to copy my trades for free. Okay, that means every time I place a trade on my account, those same trades will be copied automatically over to your account, hands free. Okay, I'll leave a link in the description box below where you can message me on Telegram, or you can even message me on Instagram. Okay, just let me know, hey Andre, I want to copy your trades, and then I'll walk you through the setup. Okay, but look, let's go ahead and get into it. So first thing first, every day I like to go to the 1 hour and mark up my previous US session highs and lows. Okay, now if you're trading the pound pairs or any other pairs, then you might want to look for, the previous London session highs and lows, or the Asian session highs and lows. But if I'm trading a USD pair or any of the NSC pairs, I'm going to be looking for the US session highs and lows. And I got the US session starting from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. All right. So wherever price is at between 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., I'm going to be looking for the high, and I'm going to be looking for the low between those time frames. Okay. So let's get into it. And I'm going to show you guys a perfect example of what happened today. All right. So what I like to look for is the highest point of the US session and the lowest point. So in this case, this over here. Let me actually bring it over here so you guys can see. This was yesterday's high. As you can see, this wick, this long doji wick right here. I'm going to draw my rectangle tool from the top of the wick to the body of the wick. To the bottom, to the body. Okay. Now, as you notice, this zone is a little bit too big. I don't like to have big zones on my chart. So what I like to do is I like to go one time frame down to see if I can tighten up that level. It went up a little bit, but it's still too big. I'll go to the 15-minute to see if I can make it a little bit better. In this case, that's a little bit better. Okay, so what I would do is I'll go, and if you guys want to make it even better, what you could do is you can go to the 5-minute. Now, the 5-minute time frame is the last time frame that I'm going to use to tighten up my zone. Okay, so I'll bring it up here. Remember, you want to draw the zone from the wick to the body. Okay, now I got my previous US session high. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag it over here, and you'll see why I'm dragging it here. But let's look for our previous US session low. Go back to the 1 hour. Okay, we're going to go back to the 1 hour. Where we was at. Okay, so now we're back on the 1 hour chart. Now I'm going to be looking for the previous US session low. I already have my US session high zone right here, right? So now I need to mark up my previous US session low, which is down here. I'll bring it over here so you guys can see. So what I'll do is I'll bring that draw it from the body, from the wick to the body, and then I'll go ahead and draw that zone in the past. Okay, so now after I draw my supply and demand zone on the 1 hour chart, where I'm looking to enter is on the 5-minute chart. Okay, so I'll go ahead and go to the 5-minute chart, the 5-minute time frame, and whenever the US session opens, I'm waiting for one thing. I'm waiting for price to come into these zones and show me a rejection. Show me that you want to reject this zone. In this case, today, it rejected the zone. So as you can see right here, price came all the way up here right? Price came here to that zone, right? You see how powerful these zones are, right? Just showing you guys just from drawing the previous day U.S. session high. Price came into that zone in U.S. session and rejected that zone. So you could have literally waited for bearish engulfing or some type of rejection off of this zone. Of course, you might want you want to have other confluence as well, other stuff that's telling you that you should be selling, but you can literally just trade based off of this the previous U.S. session highs and lows. Like you can just literally trade just based off of those two zones and just wait for price to come into these zones and reject. It's either gonna reject it or it's gonna break and retest. In this case, it came into the zone and rejected it. So what you could have did was you could have took a sell, a short position right here on that bearish engulfing right there, and you could have put your stop above that zone, and then you could have literally just target, you could have targeted this zone. The price never really came to the zone. That's normally what I do. I normally target the next zone, but in this case it didn't. But what you could have did was you could have took profit early, because you might be you could have went for a 2R, all right, 2.5R, all right. That could have been your take profit there. You could have went for a 1R or one to one. It's up to you. But normally I like to target the next zone. So for example, if I'm getting in at the top of the zone and reject the top of the zone, I'm normally want to target the bottom of the zone. And I normally, what I do is I target an area where my target is not necessarily on the zone, but I target usually way before the zone. That way price doesn't do what it just did here. Like price came all the way down here, right? Price came all the way down here, right? Price came all the way down there, right? And price came all the way back up here. You see that, right? So that's why I like to, even though majority of the time price usually come to the previous zone, I like to target a little bit before price hits that zone. That way, this doesn't happen on me. This doesn't happen, all right? It just totally don't reverse on me, okay? So this is an example of how you can use previous U.S. session high and low, all right? So I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to give you a bonus tip. What I like to do is I like to use a indicator called the session volume profile. I use the session volume profile indicator to mark up extra key levels. And if I turn this on, just like how I mark up my previous U.S. session highs and lows, I also use this indicator. I normally look at the 30-minute when it comes to using this indicator. But when it comes to this indicator, I go to the 30-minute chart and I look for the previous day's levels. All right. And in this case, when it comes to this session volume profile indicator, there's 3 key levels. There's the value area low, and then there's the value area high, and then there's a point of control. All right. Now, the point of control is the purple dotted line right here. Okay, as you can see right here, this dotted line right here is the point of control. Okay, so normally what I do is I take my horizontal tool here, and then I will mark that. Well, in this case, matter of fact, let me just go ahead and show you guys how I use it, because I don't do it on the current day. I normally do it on the previous day. So in this case, this is the previous day right here. So I'm gonna mark up this this point of control key level here, and I'm gonna take my horizontal tool here and I'm gonna put it right over it. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys the reason why I do this. Okay, so I got my point of control. This purple line, this purple horizontal line right here is my point of control, basically. All right, now there's other levels that I don't know what just happened here. Let me delete that. Okay, now what I also want to do is I want to mark up my value area high. All right, I'm gonna show you guys. This white dotted line is the value area high. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to also, mark that up. Okay, in this case I'm gonna make it white. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the same thing. Okay, as you can see, that's like, again, that's the value area high, and then I'm gonna do the same thing for um, the value area low. Okay, so I'm gonna take my horizontal tool there, and I'm gonna mark that level up. Boom. After I mark up those key levels, those are, like, remember, the session volume profile, I use this indicator to mark up 3 levels. I mark up the value area high, I mark up the value area low, and then also mark up the point of control of this indicator. Okay. Now, the point of control, you might be wondering, what is a point of control? Well, this is the area where there's a lot of buyers and sellers. This is where the most business transactions are happening at that point of control. All right, so that's what it means. Okay, so after I mark up those key levels, then what I do is I just hide the indicator, because I don't want all that stuff on my chart. Okay, and you can also use these key levels that I marked up with the session value indicator to target. Okay, so if I get a rejection, right, let's go to the 5 minute. So, if I get a rejection off of this zone right here, and I already, before the US session started, what I would do is I can target these levels. So you could have got a 2R off this level here. If you'd have took that trade right there, you could have got a 2R off that level. So price started here, price rejected it, right? Remember, price rejected this zone right here. This is the previous US session high. Once I see that rejection, I'm going to take that entry to the downside, and I'm going to use the key levels that I marked up using the session volume profile to target. So you can use these as targets. And as you can see, price came down there and target that point of control, which is that purple line. You can even target the volume area low, which is down here. Okay, so that's how I use the session volume profile. That's an extra little bonus, or an extra little bonus tip when it comes to how to take profit. Now, not only you can use these levels to take profit off of, but you can also use these key levels to take entries off of. Okay, so let me see if I can, and vice versa too. Like, as you can see right here, price came all the way. Let me see, price came all the way down here, right, and then price came all the way up, and as you can see, price came all the way back over to the value area high, the previous value area high there. Okay, you see right there. So you could have took it both ways. You could have caught the reversal and then target the value area high, and yeah, that's one way you can do it. You can take trades off those levels. Let me see if I can show you guys one more example when it comes to the session volume profile. Let me go ahead and just delete these levels, because like I said, I like to use the previous days. So if I'm looking for, let's go back in the past here. Okay, let's go back in the past. As you can see here, all right, I already got it marked up. I already got the volume area high marked up, and I got the volume area low here. Okay, so what I could do is I can mark these levels up, get my horizontal tool here. I mark up the value area low here, and then I'll do the same for the value area high here. Okay, and then also want to mark up my point of control, which is the dotted purple line here. Boom, I'll make that purple. Okay, now going into today's session, let's pretend that this area is today's session. Let me take this. Like I said, after I mark up these key levels, I'm going to hide the indicator, because I don't want that on my chart. And again, as you can see, price US session open up over here. We got a rejection off of this zone right here. So literally, you could have took a trade off of this zone right here. If there was a zone there, you had there, and you can target these levels. These key levels are like magnets. Like price likes to always come back to these key levels. And as you see, if you'd have took a trade here, you could have took a trade to this previous day's point of control, which is that purple horizontal line there, or you could have target previous value area low level right here. All right, you see that, right? So just like how we did here in today's session, you did the same thing here. All right, in this session. So that's how I use the session volume profile. I use these key levels to target. All right, and again, I like to also draw my previous U.S. session highs and lows, U.S. session highs and lows, and I look for either a rejection off of the zone or I look for a break and retest, and I take entries off of those zones, and then I go to the session volume, the session volume profile indicator, and I mark up those key levels like the value area high, the value area low, and then the point of control, and then I usually target those either one of those levels. Okay, so if you guys got value, I know I said a lot, but if you have to rewatch this video, but like I said, you just go to the 1 hour, you look for your U.S. session highs and lows, and then after that you go to the session volume profile indicator, and then you mark up those key levels, and and now you have a with those key levels, you now have an idea what price can go to. Okay, so if you did get value, make sure you like, comment, and share this video. Again, if you guys want to be able to copy my trades automatically over to your account hands free, all you got to do is just click the link in the description box below, message me on Instagram or Telegram. Let me know, hey, Andre, I want to copy your trades. I'm literally allowing you guys to copy my trades for free, okay? No charge, okay? So with that being said, I'm Andre Ketnine here from West Palm Beach, Florida. I will see you guys on the internet. Take